At 7 the next morning, she called Jinho. He answered on the first ring. I want the DNA test done this week. And I want you to know something. That money your family paid me 10 years ago, I did not spend one coin, not one. I have kept every bank statement. I will be returning every single amount. I do not sell my son. I never sold my son. I want that understood between us clearly before anything happens. Silence on the other end, long silence. Adeze, he said finally. His voice was different from last night, quieter. Something in it that had no performance left. I know. I know you didn't. The lawyer will call you today. She ended the call, sat for a moment. Then she called her mother's number out of habit and listened to it ring and remember. She put the phone face down on the table and sat with that for a long time. The DNA results came back 5 days later, 99.99% confirmed. She was sitting in a lawyer office in Ghana, floor to ceiling windows looking at Han River, where the document was placed in front of her. She read the percentage, read it again, folded the paper carefully and put it in her bag. Her lawyer, a sharp, efficient woman named Sue, waited. Set up the meeting, Adeze said. I want to see my son. They met at a cafe, Itaewon, in the following Saturday. Jinhoon brought Minje. Adeze arrived first and was sitting at the corner table when they walked in. Minje saw her and his face changed completely. He crossed the cafe in 6 steps and sat down directly beside her without asking, like he has been doing it his whole life. Jinhoon sat across from them. He looked at his son sitting beside this woman. The ease of it, the way Minje leaned slightly towards her without noticing, the way she instinctively passed him the menu before looking at her own. Something in Jihu's chest moved. I need to tell you something, Jihu said. Adeze looked at him. My mother told me everything 3 years ago before she died. He paused. She told me she came to you alone. She told me what she offered you. She told me she let you believe it was my idea. It was not my idea. I did not know the arrangement she made. I was told you left willingly. Then you wanted nothing to do with the child, that you had gone home to Nigeria and moved on. The cafe was quiet around them. She lied to both of us, he said. She kept us away from each other deliberately. I am not saying that removes my responsibility. I sat in that room 10 years ago and I let her speak and said nothing. That was my choice and I know what it cost. But I need you to know I did not arrange what she arranged. Daisy listened carefully. Then she said, your silence was the betrayer, Jinwoo. Not only your mother's arrangements, you. Sitting in that room, saying nothing. That was the thing that broke everything. Yes. We lost 10 years because you could not find your voice. Yes. This is the saddest things I've ever heard. Minje was watching both of them, reading everything. He reached under the table and put his hand over Adese's hand briefly. She looked down at it. Then she looked at him. Tell me about yourself, she said. And just like that, the conversation shifted. Minje talked. He talked about school, about the subject he liked, about the ones he endured, about the food he loved and the ones he hated, about the question he had been carrying since he was 6 years old, and the drawer he had found when he was 9, and the name written on the bottom of the document that he had kept in his school notebook for 3 years before he knew what to do with. You knew my name for 3 years, she asked. I was waiting for the right moment, he replied. And the ceremony was the right moment, you think? He looked at her with his father's eyes and her nose and said, you were about to walk to that stage with nobody cheering for you. Yes, that was the right moment. She pressed her lips together, nodded, looked at the table. Okay, she said quietly. Okay. The visit began that same week. The first Saturday, Minje arrived at her apartment in Mabo with a backpack and the energy of someone who had been waiting for this specific Saturday. His entire life, she made jollof rice. He ate 3 plates without stopping and looked at her after the third and with an expression of absolute and total loyalty. This is the best thing I've ever eaten in my life, he said. I know, she replied. He laughed, she laughed. Something settled between them that had no need for words. She taught him his full name, Oluwademilade, she said slowly. He repeated it, got wrong, tried again, closer, tried again. It means God has crowned me with wealth, she said. He was quiet for a moment. You gave me that name even though you knew they were going to take me, especially because of that. He looked at her. I'm going to learn to say it perfectly. I know you will.